Today is the last day of January, but also my birthday! It's my birthday! Let's make a wish together. I really hope that this year has been treating you really good so far, and even if not, don't worry, because according to Chinese zodiac, the year only starts mid-February, so consider January as your slow start and transition into the new year. Lately, I've been finding myself at a point in life where I look back at my life and I'm like, wow, I've been through a lot and I have changed so much. I have learned so many things, especially the hard way. So today I'm sharing 24 things with you that I wish someone had told me so much earlier. I seriously wish I could go back in time and hug the old version of me who was so completely lost in life, who was honestly so worried about her self-image and just felt so sad and depressed. I wish someone had sat down with me back then and told me everything I'm going to share with you today. No matter your age or what stage in life you currently find yourself in, I wholeheartedly believe that you will benefit from listening to this video, so make sure to stay until the end. Take what helps and leave what doesn't. Let's start with mindset shifts. Lesson number 1, emotional sovereignty. One of the biggest lessons I have learned in my life is that I, myself, all alone, cannot control what everyone else is doing, and I cannot control fully what happens in my life. We do have control of our lives and make decisions, of course, but on the larger scale, we cannot truly control what will happen in the world. For example, what the world leaders are going to decide to do, how the economy is going, or how our partners or friends are going to react to us or feel or behave. I cannot control how someone talks to me. While I cannot control all this, I am 100% responsible for my reaction. For the longest time, my mood was basically in someone else's hands. If someone misunderstood me, I spiraled. If someone criticized me, I started to question and overthink everything. People with external locus feel like life is happening to them. They often say things like, the weather made me so depressed, my boss made me so stressed, my ex-boyfriend completely crushed my confidence. And yes, these things can absolutely affect you. I'm not saying that they don't, but a shift happens when you start building your internal locus of control. You may not fully control what happens, but you control how you react and how you respond. What you choose, what you tolerate, and what you build from here. You become completely unshakable because your peace is no longer based on the outside circumstances. This is what people mean when they say that you should change your mindset from life is happening to me into life is happening for me. Your peace stops being something that other people can take away from you or control in a way, because now you know your worth and you know yourself down to the core. If someone is doubting you or being rude to you for no reason, it says a lot more about that person than it says about you. Lesson number 2, realize people truly don't care. And I know this may sound a little depressing, but most people don't think about you at all. Maybe your parents did this too when you were younger, but my parents would always tell me when we were outside, like in the grocery store or going somewhere when I was a child, they would constantly tell me to behave and not cry because everyone is looking and I will embarrass the entire family. And this conditioning later on in life can influence us. We start to believe that everyone is looking at us, everyone is noticing our flaws, and everyone remembers every single embarrassing or cringe moment that happened to you. If I said something really awkward or stumbled in my speech, I would replay it in my head over and over, or for the longest time I stopped myself from posting on social media, even though I knew it was something that I really wanted to do because I was lonely and I wanted to make new friends, but I was so embarrassed to post on social media because I was constantly thinking, what if people think I'm cringe, or what if they judge me? And let me tell you that our brains overestimate how much attention people give us. We think that everyone else is watching us, but in reality, we are watching ourselves. Everyone is too busy worrying and living their own lives. Once I truly internalized this, I felt more free to take risks, do the things I always wanted, try new things, and speak my mind without judgment. I know it's easier said than done, but try to remember at least one embarrassing thing or cringe moment of a stranger from, let's say, last year. When I try to think back to some embarrassing moment of some stranger or even my friends, I couldn't even think think of one. Lesson number 3, the perfect moment doesn't exist. If you keep on waiting until the perfect moment or until you feel ready, you'll just keep on waiting forever. There is this saying that yesterday was the best time to start, and the second best time to start is today or right now. Our brains are wired to keep us safe and comfortable, not to make us successful. Even if something is good for you, if it's outside your comfort zone, your brain will naturally try to talk you out of it. I'm pretty sure we all know the I will start on Monday, I will start next week, but what I learned is that action creates motivation, not the other way around. When you start, even if it's just for 5 minutes, your brain releases dopamine and that keeps you going. That's why getting started is usually the hardest part. Whatever it is you want to do, start even if it's just for 5 minutes. Most of the time, if you've kept going for 5 minutes, you will keep on going for longer, but even if not, it's still a win. You did a small part and that's still better than nothing. Over time, this will compound. You just prove to yourself that you can do whatever you set your mind to, and that builds your self-trust. Number 4, you are what you consume. This is one of the things that you hear from everyone, but let me go a little deeper. The people you spend the most time with really shape you. Not just your personality, but your mindset, your goals, your standards, your habits, your limiting beliefs, even what you consider to be normal. And I used to underestimate this so much. I used to think that I'm strong-minded, no one can influence me, so it doesn't matter that all my friends complain all the time or only see the bad things in the world. But we as humans are social creatures. We automatically absorb what's around us. Our brains have something called mirror neurons, and they cause us to subconsciously adopt these habits of people around us. And not only that, but also speech patterns, limiting beliefs, and even ambitions. If your friends are always complaining, you will become a complainer. If your friends are leveling up, you will have no other option but to keep up. I've had to make some hard choices about who I access my energy to, and it was the best thing I could do for my personal growth. And it's not just the people you hang out with, but everything you consume. The food you put into your body, the music you listen to, the content you watch, what you feed your brain on day-to-day basis. If you spend hours watching content that makes you feel insecure and behind, you might not notice it consciously, but your nervous system does. And if you are constantly consuming drama, negativity, or people tearing each other down, you start to see the world through this filter. But also on the other side, if you fill your mind with positivity, calm, inspiring content, your standards will rise naturally. And if you'd like to see more content like this, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Even affirmations and the music you listen to is consumption. The words that are being repeated are inputs, and they shape you. And same with actual nutrition. Lesson number 5, silence is a power move. I used to be the biggest over-explainer ever. And if you grew up in a home where you were always criticized, blamed, misunderstood, this comes natural to you. I used to think that I had to defend myself in every single conversation, but now I realize not everyone deserves an explanation. When you're over-explaining yourself to someone, you're essentially asking for their permission or validation. When you stay silent, you keep your energy. Sometimes silence can be the strongest response. And now I'm not saying that you should never speak up. If something matters, like your boundaries, your safety, your reputation in a real way, then yes, definitely speak up. But a lot of the time it is these little useless, pointless conversations where we completely lose ourselves and lose our energy for no reason. They drain us the most. Your peace is more important than being right in some pointless conversation. Learning to stay quiet in these moments is a true sign of maturity. Keeping this in mind, let's move to boundaries and connections. Lesson number 6, confusion is always an answer. This one is going to save so much time, so please listen up. If you feel confused where you stand with a person, whether that is a guy, a friend, anyone, that confusion is information. If someone actually and truly values you, they wouldn't leave you confused. You won't feel like you're always trying to decode their behavior. We spend so much time trying to decode someone's behavior, but human psychology is really simple. We prioritize what's important to us. And if you're in a priority, stop making them your destination. Especially if you grew up with inconsistent love or conditional love, you may mistake confusion for chemistry and pain or chaos with love. And this is something you need to unlearn. And this not only applies to people but to certain situations as well. Sometimes you're actually confused because your intuition is trying to tell you something. You just need to listen. If a job is constantly making you anxious, stressed, questioning yourself, maybe it's not really your place. Or if a certain opportunity feels like you're always just trying to push it or trying too hard and your body feels tense, that's information. And now, I'm not saying that everything in life should be easy. Growth can feel uncomfortable. But there is a huge difference between discomfort that comes from growth and discomfort that comes from misalignment. And the moment you stop chasing people or things that benefit from your confusion, your standards rise automatically. Lesson number 7. People pleasing disconnects you from yourself. When you are saying yes, when you actually mean no, you are not just being nice, but you are actually being dishonest. You are presenting a version of yourself that doesn't exist to control how other people perceive you. And if you grew up in a home where love was conditional, where you get criticized or punished for having your needs, then people pleasing became a survival skill. You think to yourself, if I say yes, they won't get mad, or I don't want to cause any problems. But every single time you people please, you abandon yourself. Now other people think, oh, okay, she's fine with that, she doesn't mind. But inside, you are frustrated, exhausted, and irritated. So the relationship just then becomes built on you performing. And that's why people pleasing can be a form of dishonesty. You're presenting a version of yourself that you think will be more acceptable. And the cost of that is huge. When you keep on doing that, you stop knowing what you actually want. You stop trusting your own feelings. And then you wonder why you feel disconnected, resentful, or fearful. True self-respect means being brave enough to let people get disappointed. And sometimes people get disappointed because they're used to you having no boundaries. The more you practice saying no, the more peaceful your life will become. You stop giving from an empty cup and performing. It's better to be disliked for who you are than to be liked for who you are not. Lesson number 8. Raise your self-standard first. You can't expect other people to treat you better than you treat yourself. And not because you don't deserve it, but because the way you treat yourself sets the baseline for how everyone else treats you. If you want high effort relationships, you have to be high effort with yourself first. You say you want a partner who's consistent, thoughtful, high effort, but you don't give all these things to yourself. We want someone to choose us, but we don't even choose ourselves. And now don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that you have to be perfect to find love. No. I'm just saying you have to raise your standard first with yourself, and then everything else changes in life as well. When I started giving myself everything I was expecting from other people to give me, that's when everything shifted. Take yourself on the dates you want to. Invest in your own environment. Buy yourself that flowers. When you become the source of your own happiness, you stop being desperate for other people to fill in the gaps. Lesson number 9. No one is coming to save you. I spent a lot of my time thinking that I could just fix people. I truly believe that if I just loved someone hard enough, I could pull them into a better version of themselves. And if you grew up in a toxic household, this makes so much sense. You are used to being the one who holds everything together. You learn to read moods, prevent conflicts, make people feel okay, even though you are not okay. So when you start getting close to someone else, you bring this role with you. You don't choose someone based on who they are, you choose someone based on who they could become. And that's where you slowly start to lose yourself. No one is coming to save you, and at the same time, you cannot save someone who doesn't want to be saved. You cannot love someone into becoming a better version of themselves. People only change when they are ready to face their own shadows. Your job isn't to fix them. Your job is to decide whether you can accept this person exactly as they are right now. And if the answer is no, you need to walk away. You will only drain yourself trying to carry someone's growth that isn't yours to carry. The moment you stop waiting for someone to save you or trying to save someone else, you get your life back. And that's when you become the person you've been waiting for. Lesson number 10. Feeling lonely is normal. Seriously, no one prepares you how lonely your 20s will feel. Everyone is on a different schedule. One person is getting married, the other person is traveling all over the world or being in Japan, someone is always running a marathon, someone is in school, someone is working a full-time job. You can be surrounded by people and still feel lonely. And when you start leveling up in life, mentally, emotionally, focusing on your goals, your circle will naturally get smaller. Your standards and nervous system changes. What used to feel normal back then now feels draining. There is a specific kind of loneliness that comes with growth growth because you're not really the person you used to be, but at the same time you haven't met your new people yet. But believe me, it's so much better to be alone and at peace rather than being in a room full of people where you have to dim your light or pretend to be someone you're not. And if you find yourself in this lonely season as well, studying, working, building your dream life, please don't panic. You are shedding what no longer fits. And that way you are making space for something even better. Embrace this solitude. It's where you actually find out who you really are and what you want. Like I always say, silence is your best friend. Keeping this in mind, let's shift to career lesson. Lesson number 11. Your 20s are for gathering data. This would have saved me so much stress and time if I understood this earlier. Your 20s are not for having the perfect career or your perfect life 10-year, 20-year plan figured out. They are for gathering data. I know that's annoying to hear when you feel like you are behind and it seems like everyone else has their life figured out. All of that is just an illusion. There is actually a very tiny percentage of people that already know what they want in life or what they want to do. Behind the scenes, majority of these people who seem to have it all figured out feel as lost as you are. Stop putting so much pressure on yourself. Your 20s are a massive experiment. Try that business, do fun side quests, take that class you've been meaning to take, fail at a side hustle. Now is the best time to do so. Especially if you have no other responsibilities. You are now learning what you are good at, what you enjoy, and what you don't enjoy. You won't find out all these things just by sitting on your butt and thinking about them. You learn by trying. If you don't take action now, a few years will pass by and you will just reminisce about it. You will think back to how young you used to be and how you wish you had started sooner. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't mean that you failed. Because now you know what you don't want, and many people don't get that clarity. The only true failure is staying stuck because you're afraid to look like a beginner. Lesson number 12. Independence is the highest form of self-care. Independence gives you options. And when you have options, you can say no. No to disrespect. No to toxic relationships. No to jobs that drain you. People who treat you badly. Many people stay in such situations because they cannot afford to leave. Money isn't only about luxury. Money is safety and freedom. Money is being able to choose your life. If you grew up in a toxic or abusive household, you can relate to this on a much deeper level. If you don't have financial independence, you end up trapped. You need to drop that mindset that you've been taught that money doesn't grow on trees, money is evil. Money only amplifies the type of person you already are. Money is energy. Knowing how to manage your money, invest your money, make more money is what gives you the power to say no. When you are financially stable, your standards naturally rise. You stop tolerating the things you used to tolerate. And you become a person who chooses, not the person who is chosen. And I wish more girls understood this so much earlier in their life, because financial independence is one of the strongest forms of self-respect. You never want to find yourself in a position where your survival depends on someone who doesn't treat you well. Lesson number 13. Silence is your best friend. We often think that being constantly busy equals being successful. We live currently in a time and culture that glorifies the hustle. Wake up early, grind, push non-stop, and if you feel tired, just push more. But all this can actually block your growth. Your brain needs downtime to process, connect ideas, and reset. There is a real neuroscience concept for this called the default mode network. It's basically the state your brain enters when you aren't focused on a task. This is when your best ideas happen. That's why you get the best ideas in the shower or right before falling asleep. If you are constantly scrolling, consuming, creating, jumping from one thing to another, your brain never gets to enter that mode. I know the idea of doing nothing sounds scary, especially if you grew up in survival mode, because when you slow down, you have to face things you've been avoiding. But that's why it's also so healing. So start scheduling the time to do just nothing. If you are constantly busy, you are leaving no room for life to speak to you. Lesson number 14. Move in silence. I've learned that when I have a big goal, I keep it to myself until it's done. There is this psychological factor where telling people your goals gives you a premature sense of accomplishment, which lowers your drive to actually do the work. And also sometimes certain people you tell your goals to can get a little bit weird about it. They start projecting their own limitations onto you by telling you to be more realistic, aka tone yourself down because my reality is too small compared to what you just told me. They'll start to doubt you, question you, project their own fears onto you. And the best thing you can do is don't tell them, show them. I keep my goals quiet and I put my energy towards working on them. Instead of announcing, I'm going to lose weight, I'm going to start a business, just start. And then once it's real, shock everyone. Keep your energy for execution. The results will speak so much louder than any plans ever will. Lesson number 15. You are worthy just by existing. We live in a society that worships productivity. We romanticize being busy. We feel like we can only rest when we deserve it. But your worth isn't tied to some to-do list. I know it's a little corny, but I saw somewhere that we are human beings, not human doings. You could do nothing all day and still be worthy human being. And I know that sounds a little simple, but if you grew up with constant criticism, conditional love, pressure, it's not really easy. A lot of us were taught you have to achieve something in life, you have to become something. So you always do something, you always strive for the next thing. But when does it stop? This is what creates the feeling that you can never fully rest. If you are not doing anything, it's like you're falling behind. But life is not a race, it's not a competition. Rest is a need. It's not something you can earn. It's something you require to function like a normal human being. You are allowed to have days where you just exist, breathe, and enjoy your life without having to produce something. That is the essence of life. That is the purpose of life, to just exist. Lesson number 16. Trust your intuition. Have you ever been around a certain person and for some reason you just feel tightness in your chest, a little anxious, knot in your stomach, and your whole body is being tensed? Pay attention to that. That's your nervous system reacting to a lack of safety. Your gut feeling is actually your second brain. Learn to trust it. Your nervous system is scanning for safety all day, even without you realizing. There is actually a strong connection between your gut and your brain. Your gut has a huge network of nerves and your body sends signals through that system constantly. Now, I know some people can hear this and be like, oh, but I struggle with anxiety. So can I trust my body? Yes, but you have to learn the difference. Think whether is this what I'm experiencing a trauma trigger from something I experienced in the past, or a real-time warning, your body reacting to something that's happening right now. And you learn that through patterns. The more you ignore your body, the louder it gets. And the more you listen, the more you will feel grounded in yourself. And that's real self-trust. Lesson number 17. Finally fixing your sleep schedule. This is something that I've been struggling ever since I was in my early teenage years. I used to stay up all night to finish watching my favorite TV shows or finish a book that I was reading back then, and this has stayed with me all the way until my adult years. When you're sleep deprived or your sleep is all over the place, your amygdala, aka the emotional center of your brain, becomes hyperactive, which results in you being more stressed and anxious. You can't manifest, heal, or build a life you desire if your body is running on poor sleep schedule. I used to underestimate sleep so much because I thought if I just sleep a little bit more the next day, I can catch up, but sadly it doesn't work that way. Sleep is when your body repairs muscle, regulates hormones, processes stress, and yes, your skin and hair also benefits from you having a good sleep schedule because your body is doing recovery overnight. The moment I started to take my sleep seriously, everything changed. So if you want to start somewhere and don't know where, start with your sleep. Find a specific time you will wake up every single day, even on weekends. Maybe there can be like 1 hour slight difference, but your body loves consistency and rhythm. Prioritizing 7 to 9 hours of sleep every night and resting is the most productive thing you can do for your mental health, your brain, and your body. Lesson 18. Master the basics first. Like I have mentioned before, sleep is probably the most important. I know many people tend to ignore the basics and think that by taking supplements, getting procedures done, spending money on whatever promises them the best results, can compensate for them ignoring the basics, but they are wrong. Before you look for complicated solutions to your problems, check your basics. Are you drinking enough water? Are you getting enough sleep? Are you getting enough nutrient-rich food into your body? Did you go outside today? Did you get any sunlight? Have you moved your body? Have you been scrolling too much? Most of our low moods can be simply taken care of by taking care of our most basic biological needs. Stop overcomplicating your self-care. Start with the basics because the basic stuff is what makes all the higher level even possible. And honestly, if you master the basics, you are pretty much ahead of majority of people. Lesson 19. Discipline is the highest form of self-love. We often think that discipline means being hard on ourselves, hating ourselves, or pushing ourselves to do something that we don't even want to do. But actually, discipline is the highest form of self-love. It's your current self looking out for your future self. When you show up for yourself consistently, even when you don't feel like it, you are broadcasting out to the universe that I matter. And your life changes in a way that's undeniable over time. Discipline looks like going for a walk even if you don't feel like it, taking care of your body, no matter how you feel, cooking something simple instead of eating that processed meal, cleaning your room because you deserve to live in a clean space, going to bed on time because you deserve to feel stable, doing the hard thing because you love yourself and you want the best for yourself. Show up for yourself, especially when you don't feel like it. This was honestly the biggest life-changing thing for me. Shifting from I have to do this or I have to do that to I get to study because I deserve to learn and be educated. I get to clean because I deserve to live in a clean environment. I even made a full video about this, so click here and listen to it next. Lesson 20. The comparison trap. If you're a girl, especially in your 20s, or someone who is online a lot, please remember this. Social media is a curated reality. When we're scrolling, it's super easy to forget that. You end up comparing your real life, your tired face, your tired body, your bad day to someone else's highlight reel. Another way to say it, you are constantly comparing your unedited footage to someone else's final result. This can really mess with your head if you are not being careful. If you constantly see someone living your dream life, looking perfect, having the things you want, you can start to spiral. So I started treating my digital environment just like my physical environment. Just like you wouldn't invite someone who makes you feel bad about yourself to your home, stop doing it on your phone. If following someone makes you feel like you are not enough, unfollow them. Protect your digital space as much as your physical space. Your mind is your home and you deserve to live in a mental environment that supports you, not one that makes you spiral. Now, moving on to the bigger picture. Lesson number 21. You don't owe your past self your future self. This is one of the most freeing things to realize. You are allowed to change your mind. You are allowed to pivot. You are not the same person you were a year ago, so why would you have to be forced to live with a decision that you made a year ago? If you don't like the path you are on, change it. And now, I know you may think to yourself, oh, but I chose this degree and I already spent so much time on it, I can't change it now, or I spent so much time with this one person, so maybe it's best to just stick with it. I've been already doing this job for so many years, so I can't change it. But you can. And you should. Our brains hate the idea that time was wasted, so we often stay in situations that aren't right for us. That's because we already invested some time into them. Please don't waste more time because you already wasted some time. It's never too late to start over. I know many people don't want to hear this, but we will be gone one day and we don't know when. And that's the scariest part. I don't want to live this life without having to experience all the things I want, without taking risks. If you're watching this and you feel like you're on the wrong path, I want you to ask yourself, if nobody could judge me and nobody was watching, what would I change? That answer matters. It's never too late to choose a life that actually feels like yours. Lesson number 22. Accept the season you are in. As you may already know, life is not linear. There are different seasons. And we make ourselves miserable when we always try to stay in the high season. We think that we are supposed to be happy all the time, productive all the time, in our best shape all the time, but that's not how life works. There are seasons for grinding, there are seasons for resting, there are seasons for being social, and there are seasons for just being a hermit. There are seasons where it feels like everything is moving super fast, and there are seasons when it feels like nothing is happening. And the mistake many people make is thinking that the slow seasons are a failure. Oftentimes, the slow seasons are just preparation. It's your nervous system preparing for something new and better. Sometimes it's life giving you space to reflect, to heal, to get your mind right. So stop fighting the season you are in. If you are in a quiet chapter, use it to reflect. If you are in a busy chapter, disaster, use it to build. Everything in life is temporary, so just try to make the best out of what you currently have. Lesson number 23, forgive your younger self. This is the lesson I want to end this video on because it's what helped me to heal the most. I used to look back at the things I did, the way I used to behave, the choices I made, and I would cringe so hard. I would replay it over and over in my head and question it. Why did I even act like this? What caused me to be this way? For a long time, I used to treat my younger self as something to be embarrassed of. But the only reason I feel this way is because you have grown. I had to forgive that version of me for not knowing what I know now. She was just doing her best, what she knew at that given moment. And I think this is truly so beautiful to realize because you just see how much you have grown and how much you have changed over your life. Especially if you grew up in a toxic household or went through something traumatic. A lot of the choices you made back then weren't about what was best. They were about what felt the safest, what helped you cope, what helped you get through your day, what helped you made feel loud, or what made you feel seen. So instead of looking back at the younger version of yourself with hate or judgment, try looking back at that version of yourself with compassion. She's the one who got you here. She's the one who kept on going even though she didn't believe in herself or no one else believed in her. She's the one who tried again and again even though she felt alone. You don't become your best self by bullying your past self. You become by loving her. So be kind to the girl you used to be. She fought to get you where you are today. And these are the 23 lessons that have shaped my journey so far. I hope that by sharing this, it makes your path a little bit clearer. If you're watching this and you feel like you're behind in life, I need you to hear me out. You are not behind. Your teens and your 20s are messy on purpose. You're learning, you're collecting data, you're outgrowing people, you're unlearning things you didn't even choose to learn in the first place, and you are building a version of you that actually feels real. So if all you did this year was just survive, I am proud of you. If you're healing yourself, working on yourself, I am so proud of you. Wherever you find yourself in life, just please know you are doing much better than you actually think you are. And if this video resonated with you, I would be so grateful if you could subscribe and join our little community here. Don't forget to like this video and leave a comment if you feel like it. I love reading your thoughts. Thank you so much for giving me your precious time to listen to me. I hope to see you in the next video next week as well. Take care. Bye!